Hello and welcome to episode 12 of the Three Frosted Mugs, a Fiad Entertainment Group production. I'm Rodney, and here with me, as always, is Chad.
Good afternoon, Stephen.
Good afternoon, Chad. And we have a sit-in mug today. That's what we should call it officially, right? Sit-in mug?
Yep.
Yeah? And that would be Brian.
What's up, guys?
That's B. Ryan with a Y.
Yeah, thank you for the Y. You know, it's very important that I get that out there. I'm very proud of that Y.
Well, people dominate with the I constantly. It's just instantly you think I, you know?
Yeah,
People are
but-
always spelling my name with an IE at the end. I don't understand it.
No, that's not cool. A couple Y's in the building.
And I believe it's B.A. Higgy on Twitter.
Yes, it is. It's BAHIGGI, and there is an I at the end of that one.
GGI.
Yeah, GGI. We get back into this Iggy Azalea.
That's awesome. Oh, man. Nothing wrong with a little self-promotion, right?
Yeah, why not? I mean,
Yeah.
That's what social media is for.
Exactly. That and to follow people on it. All right, well, listen.
From a distance.
Before we get started, we definitely want to mention about our Pick 3 Plus winner of the week. That would be Partlow, a.k.a.
William. That's it, just William.
I was waiting for the last name. Okay.
Just William.
Well, congratulations, Partlow. You will be winning an authentic Three Frosted Mugs mug that will be sent to you, along with a gift card to Famous Dave's Barbecue. And keep playing, because the grand prize winner will receive a brand new Samsung tablet at the end of the season.
No longer a secret.
No longer a secret. I thought it was a secret, but it's on the website. So, and go to our website, www.threefrostedmugs.com. You can enter in your Pick 3 Plus. Watch this episode along with our Fantasy Focus episode that you should watch before every Thursday and Sunday and Monday. And eventually Saturdays, too, I'm sure, at some point. We'll have 20-game seasons. It's going to happen.
No shit.
All right, well, let's move right into it, talking about some football. We had some really interesting games that happened this past week.
Should we talk about the big surprise of the week first?
If you
boy.
want to, go ahead.
I know y'all want to, since it's y'all's team involved, but the Cowboys went into the Clink, went into CenturyLink Stadium, and I mean it was a game that was gonna not make or break, but it was gonna it's kind of, I guess, gonna see where the Cowboys stand. And I mean, I must admit, I'm sure a lot of Cowboys, unless they're just you got some fans that, our team's gonna win every week. I'm not one of them. There's a little bit of I knew it was going to be a close game, but didn't see Dallas winning that ball game, but they did. I mean, and they gave up. I mean, their special teams, they got killed on special teams, and still won 30-23. So I mean, that was a big shocker.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess from the perspective of a Redskin fan, why not? Why wouldn't it be the Cowboys that beat the Seahawks at home? Finally,
and as a fellow Redskin fan, credit where credit's due. I love all these different sports. I love the NFL. Love the Redskins more than anybody. Hate the Cowboys more than anybody. But at the same time, and you got to respect going into Seattle, a very tough place to play. A team that's coming off a Super Bowl and going in there and really controlling the game. And I know they had to make a comeback late, under 5 minutes to score, but they really controlled that game all the way through, even though it was close. And like I said, they continued to impress me. They went and drafted a bunch of offensive linemen, and that's really paying off. And that defense that everybody thought was going to be so bad has rallied together. They stuck together, kind of that all-for-one, one-for-all mentality, and everybody thinks we're terrible, and now look at them. So, no, nothing
Ron
but respect.
Marinelli, yeah, that's what he does, man. He just brings people together. He kind of, it's almost like that, because he's a little bit older, too. You got the Pete Carroll. Everybody drinks the Pete Carroll Kool-Aid. Now you just got a bunch of guys that are drinking that Ron Marinelli Kool-Aid. Not the best D in the league, but by all means respectable, certainly compared to what everybody thought going into the season. But like you said, draft picks on offensive line, they clearly dominated that game at the offensive line. A Seattle team who has given up less than 3 yards a carry. DeMarco Murray comes in there and rushes again for over 100 yards. I mean,
I don't think the All-Century team could stop DeMarco Murray at this point.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
they kept Russell Wilson down to 126 passing yards, and he had one interception, no touchdowns. That doesn't happen every day with Russell Wilson.
At home.
Yeah, that doesn't happen every... And you know what's interesting? They were talking about that silent count in the last game, because they had to go to the silent count because half of the population at Dallas was the Houston fans. So they had to go to that silent count, and it worked out real well for them. And I guess that's part of the reason why they had such success in CenturyLink.
Well,
Good. Yeah, I just like I said, they look more mature. Romo looks more in control of this team. It's definitely his team. Garrett looks like he's found his footing. What is he, year 3, year 4 now?
I think it's 4, yeah.
Four for Garrett. So, they have found an identity. They've got outstanding pass catchers, and they're running the ball. They're sticking to the run. The sky's the limit.
Well, and speaking of the run, and I'm sorry, I was looking up something when we were talking, so I may have missed it, but DeMarco Murray ran for his 6th straight over 100-yard rushing game.
Only Jim Brown has done so to start off the season.
And against one of what would be considered the toughest defense in the NFL this season, past season. That's incredible.
Yeah, you keep waiting for him, to come back down to earth, and it's like, all right, is this going to be the week? Is this going to be the week? And it just hasn't happened yet. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, he's getting a hellacious workload right now, and he is injury prone.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, they'll find a way mid-season. Of course, the big dummy Joseph Randle went and got was shoplifting cologne or something. The big dummy.
He didn't get enough carries in the game, so he wanted to carry on out some cologne and underwear.
I mean, he's a third back. I mean, I think he may have gotten. I didn't look up the snaps, but he may have even gotten more snaps than Lance Dunbar.
5 carries, 52 yards.
Average 10 a pop. What about Lance Dunbar? How many carries did he have?
Lance Dunbar had 1 for negative 4 yards.
So if anything, he should be ecstatic that he's out. He's clearly moved up the depth chart in that facet. But the big dummy went and stole cologne. So I mean, if I was Jason Garrett, I'd kick him off the team. We don't have no room for nonsense.
The cool water cologne. You got to stay fresh, man. Guy got himself some carries, wanted to smell good.
Yeah.
Well, buy the damn thing.
I mean, he's not making that much money. What is he making? Like $475,000.
I mean, true, man. He's
with the inflation in today's economy,
times are tight.
Well, let's think about what he stole there. It sounds like there was an emergency going on. Maybe he crapped his pants, had to get some underwear. The smell was too much. Had to grab the cologne. Left his wallet at home.
He was surprised.
Who knows?
That's quite a theory. that's really well thought out, Rodney.
Yeah, I'd be a great defensive attorney. I'd be a great hey, call me up, Randall. I'll be your defense attorney. I'm here for you, Joe.
Yeah, that was good. Now let's talk about we talked a little bit about the Cowboys. Now, again, a team we had preseason Conway had donned them the doo-doo team, the Cleveland Browns.
I mean, it's quite impressive. I think I picked the wrong crappy team to be on the bandwagon with the Raiders and all that. So I should have went Browns with this. But it's not surprising though, because we all talk about how much Brian Hoyer, how well he was doing before he went out last season. I mean, he looked like a bright. At that moment, it looked like they could go somewhere. He's an
NFL starting quarterback. I mean, plain and simple. I mean, the guy is an NFL starting quarterback. I mean, they beat up on the Steelers, and he only had 8 completions.
Yeah, and you think about Josh Gordon getting healthy. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And I'll tell you what, you talk about a guy that came back from a torn ACL. So, I mean, they talk about, will RG3 come back? Will all these different guys with big injuries come back? Hoyer has quietly come back from a torn ACL and has looked outstanding.
Very true.
They're going down. They're going to Jacksonville this week?
Yeah.
You got to figure they're
going to.
You got to figure they're going to get a W down there. I mean, where this team is obviously going to be able to keep up with Cincinnati. You don't know where Pittsburgh is going to go because obviously they got destroyed last week, and the Ravens are always there. So, but it's just interesting. It's nice to see them in the mix. I think everybody thought it'd be with Manziel in the long run, but Johnny may be
Johnny who?
Getting Johnny who? Yeah, exactly.
You're going to start seeing signs.
We've dropped
Johnny
the
who?
football off of Johnny.
Yeah, and speaking, you touched on the Ravens. Talking about that division too is Joe Flacco, 4 touchdown passes the first quarter, 5 in the first 16 minutes of the ball game.
He throws the best deep ball in the league. It's not even close. He's always able to set his feet, it seems like. Even when he's not, he's got a huge arm. And he's got guys that can go down the field. The 2 Smiths can go down and get the ball.
Yeah,
it's just
Ponce de Leon, Steve Smith Sr. I mean, the guy's like 54 and still running go routes with the best of them.
It's really impressive. Flacco may not be worth all that money, but he can still throw the deep ball, and he finds a way to win games. So.
And still probably one of the most underrated quarterbacks out there. I mean, people still find a way.
Can you
to
be
just
underrated, making $20 million a year?
Well, maybe publicly you could be
publicly underrated.
Wow,
it's
overpaid and underrated. Can that be the same thing? Can you
he gets no respect. I mean, I have a feeling. I mean, very few people talk good about him. They're still like, oh, Joe Flacco. He kind of. I don't feel like he dawns ever. I mean, he's a Super Bowl champion. I mean, he's all his team since he's been in the league have done nothing but win. I mean, of course, that's a byproduct of great management and great coaching, good players. But still, I mean, there's a lot of other teams that have that as well, but just have quarterbacks that can't get it done. Flacco
And
gets it done.
a kid from Delaware.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody wants to look at these top Division I schools. Joe Flacco out of Delaware. I mean, come on.
It can be done.
Yeah, well, a lot of the criticisms that I hear usually is like he can't perform on the road, which, there's a lot of quarterbacks who are like, look at Drew Brees. Look at their success rate as far as winning on the road. And everyone looks at Drew Brees as an elite, which he is, an elite quarterback. I mean, he's a damn good quarterback, but Flacco is as well.
Well, he better step it up because I've got them in the Super Bowl this year,
Yeah.
so he better step it up.
They've got to do a 180 turnaround the way they look.
They're
They're
offense and
feeling the
defense.
pressure of your prediction. They definitely are.
I should have never told Sean Payton.
He tweeted me the other day. He said, "Man, why is Chad saying stuff like that?"
Hashtag dummy.
All right, listen. Let's move into this Panthers and Bengals game real quick because I just find it interesting. This doesn't happen too often, right? I mean, I'm sure there's probably a book that tells you how many times. But the Panthers and Bengals tied 31-31.
If Donovan McNabb was playing, he wouldn't even know that ties existed.
He's still confused what happened yesterday.
He still don't know. But I don't know either. I don't understand why. I don't understand. I was watching a Luke Kuechly interview after the game, and Luke Kuechly said, I'm trying to remember the last time I tied in a football game ever in my entire life. It may have never happened. It seems like the NFL is the only ones. I get the safety aspect. You want to have the guys playing an hour and a half long game. But have a kickoff, a kick competition,
Yeah.
have
Like
a
a
punt
shootout like they
passing
do in
kick
hockey.
deal. I don't know. Do not end the game in a tie.
Well, the big dummy Mike Nugent missed a 36-yard chip shot. They could have
Do
won it.
your job, Pac-Man says. Just do your job.
36-yarder, too. Now, if it was a 56-yarder under that pressure, all right, whatever. You get away with it. But a 36-yarder? Come on, Nugent. Oh, Nugent, my bad.
It's week 6, man. The pressure's on.
Yeah, they're going to be calling him Nugent after that missed big dummy.
Well, and just to that, I think they need to do what John Gruden calls a hamburger drill as the tiebreaker, where you just have the running back and a linebacker, and you have barriers on either side, and you have to go head to head. And if the running back makes it through and score, and you should do it just like a soccer game or a hockey game, where you have like your top three running, or I guess your three running backs, and linebackers, and they each meet up with one another.
Hamburger drill.
Hamburger drill. And then he goes, I don't know why they call it a hamburger drill. I can't do a really good John
Yeah,
Gruden.
that was terrible.
I only do Chris Berman.
Yeah, you got to get Caliendo to do the. This guy is excellent. I really like this guy. You ever watch Gruden during the draft? I really like this guy. This guy's going to help this football team. This guy, I know he knows what he's talking about.
Is there anybody that Gruden doesn't like?
No, I don't think he loves Mike Tirico.
Sometimes I wonder about
helping
that.
him get that big fat check.
Sometimes I wonder about that with Mike Tirico.
Tirico's the man. Tirico's the best professional in sports. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
Tirico's
He's got
good.
one of the best jobs in the world too.
And he pops up everywhere. Does he do every sport? I mean,
The World Cup. I mean, that's the most jealous I've been.
golf too, right? Doesn't he have?
He
show up
does.
on golf
He
too?
went from Brazil doing 5 weeks of the World Cup straight across right over the pond to hit the Open Championship up. So he's out there too, and I'm just thinking, God, Tirico's got the job.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football. He does the NBA games on Friday night with Hubie Brown.
I just want him one time to look at his bank statement on his phone and chat, and you know how you take a picture of your screen.
Screenshot it.
I just want him to screenshot his balance and his bank account. Just send it to me. Let me look at it for a second.
Can I just have the last 4 digits on there, whatever they are? I mean, seriously.
So, Mike, if you're listening, you can send that to @3FrostedMugs
That's FR.
STD.
Shout out Tirico. Hashtag best job in sports.
I know, right?
All right, just a couple quick notes on some of these other games here because I'm really concerned a little bit. Packers at Dolphins. I mean, we talk about the Packers being one of those teams gaining momentum, but they had to come back to win this game. They only had like 15 seconds, I think, to score.
2 words.
Yes,
Aaron Rodgers.
that's true.
RELAX. Relax.
Yeah, they're tough. They're going to be there in the end. The Dolphins showed a lot. I mean, the Dolphins were at home, but the Dolphins are not a bad football team.
Well, they're playing Philbin, too. Philbin has an intimate knowledge of that Packers system. So
Exactly. So it was a good football game. It was just a guy named Aaron Rodgers who did his thing, and what he's going to do is he's going to find the mismatch, and that was Corliss on a guy that shouldn't be covering Corliss. But let's talk into why we got a few minutes left in the first segment. Let's talk about Washington. Everybody wants to talk about Washington.
No one wants to talk
Well, no,
about Washington.
I was about to say, let's just skip
You
Washington and move.
No one wants to talk
Let's just
about
skip
Washington.
Washington and move into how good Philadelphia looks Sunday night. I
Good
mean, we already know
Lord.
the Redskins are terrible, but there are other teams in the East.
Don't you want to spend your last few minutes just berating Eli? Isn't that what you enjoy doing the most?
Yeah, so let me tell Eli.
Yeah, we already know about Washington. Go into Eli.
Okay, you got me. I got it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, and the Eagles are doing all this, which is it's not good if you're an NFC East fan.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you're a Phillies fan, it's really good news. Is they're doing all this without their offense hitting their stride.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, their defense and special teams is playing at an unreal level, and if they keep this up and their offense does, finally click, it's going to be trouble. But they did lose Sproles for 2 or 3 weeks, but they're
They've
on a
got the bye.
week.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so they're not going to. I mean, they're not going to miss him too bad because I think LaShawn McCoy's finally going to hit his stride.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of somebody that needs to hit their stride,
He looked good Sunday night.
yeah, I think he had 123 yards roughly.
He showed that burst. They were opening up some big lanes for him.
They need to give him the ball in space. They hadn't been throwing any screen passes to him. I mean, that's something what their offense is built on too. So,
Well, I don't, one of the few good things for the Redskins this year has been the piece they're missing, Deshaun Jackson. Spreading the field, taking the top off the defense, really opening up that middle part of the field, that soft underbelly there, and that's where he was able to eat. That's where he earns his paycheck. And without Jackson taking off the top, the defense is able to kind of sit and wait. They know where it's coming from. It's either coming from him. They put their best corner on Macklin, and now you got a swarm defense on McCoy. So
because Riley Cooper ain't done doo-doo.
He has not done doo-doo.
no, old Riley.
God, we just said that's some bad English by both of us. He not done doo-doo. He not done doo-doo.
He not done doo-doo.
Thoughts on Riley Cooper? He's not good this year.
Do.
Case closed. He's
Any
terrible.
thoughts of this 49ers-Rams game real quick while we're getting ready to head out of this segment? Because it was...
49ers are rolling.
I guess.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you
mean,
what. I don't, Chad, I know you get up extremely early. I don't know if you're able to stay up for that game, but they were getting owned in the first half there, and they hit Lloyd on a huge 80-yard touchdown pass right before the end of the first half.
Yep.
That got them momentum. They came out in the second half and rolled. I'll tell you what. If the Rams don't give up that touchdown,
Was that John Gruden?
That was very much John Gruden. I tell you
these
what.
guys really rolled it out there. They took the top off the defense and threw it down the field. I don't know what to say.
He rolled into it. Didn't even know he was rolling
I know,
into
man.
it.
He
But no,
embodied
I
John
didn't
Gruden.
see it, but that's looking back. I mean, then once they, I guess that kind of gave them the momentum going into halftime.
Oh yeah, because what was it? Was it was like
14
14-3,
14-3,
and
yeah.
then they hit the touchdown 80-yard pass to Lloyd. And then
And
I gave up my fantasy league that day. But yeah, all right. Listen, we got to hit a break real quick. We'll be back for segment 2. It's going to feel literally like a second for you, but at least 15 minutes for us. And we're going to go into some college football, and then from there into some baseball talk. So stick with us. Welcome back to segment 2. I'm just kidding. Welcome back to segment 2 with 3 Frosted Mugs. Thank you for sticking with us. And last segment we talked about last week's NFL games, some surprises, some insight, I guess, as to how those teams are going to do in the future. But now we're going to move into a segment we like to call Back to School with Chad.
That's right.
That's my cheesy radio announcer voice. So, and that's where Chad likes to go through a little college football for us.
Well, I remember we talked about it last week. I said, if there was ever a weekend from noon to midnight to just lay on your couch and do absolutely nothing but drink beer and watch football, that was the weekend to do it, and it didn't disappoint.
That sounds awesome, Chad.
I mean,
I'm sorry, I'm trying out my new voice. Much lower and boring.
is that your quiet voice?
I thought we were trying out new voices. No, we're not.
Borderline.
He's just-
Bits
he's-
died.
He just
I just
hopping
get
onto
nervous.
the party.
I just got really nervous, and I thought, maybe I was being a little too loud on the mic. So
No, get loud.
don't let me interrupt
We actually
you,
have suppressors on these mics, so we really can't be loud enough, to be honest.
We tried.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's dangerous for you to tell me that.
There goes the show. Auburn, Mississippi State. I mean, Mississippi State is ridiculous. I mean, they're on an unbelievable roll right now. Dak Prescott, I mean, in my opinion, is the leader right now for Heisman. I did have preseason. One of my top dogs was Todd Gurley. See, I didn't have to say pun. Matt got on us, but that was a pun. I ruined it anyway. About Todd Gurley, as long as if the dummy didn't. Well, I'm not going to say that because, you don't know what you do in that situation where somebody wants to pay you to sign your name.
Yeah.
I mean, you give me $20 right now, I will sign a piece of paper for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, as many as you want.
Well, the argument
Yeah.
always is it's a rule, you need to follow it, but I break a lot of rules.
It's
So
so ridiculous. The rules, the NCAA is such a fraud.
yeah, give them millions of dollars and they can't get $20. But anyway, go
I
ahead.
mean, yeah, Dak Prescott, he's just, I mean, he's, willing that Mississippi, along with their underrated defense, they beat up on Auburn 38-23. They proved a lot. I mean, they've beaten 3 weeks in a row now. They've beaten a top 10 team. I mean, they're rolling right now. They're, in my opinion, best team in the country.
Well, that's what the rankings say, too. They jumped over Florida State.
And Florida State, I mean, Florida State just doesn't get tested week in and week out like the SEC does. It's just, it's ridiculous right now. Stay in Mississippi. Mississippi proved that Ole Miss proved that they're for real. Texas A&M, Kenny Hill just hadn't been having the last good couple games. I think kind of figured him out a little bit, but they do a good job and beat up on Texas A&M 35-20. Texas A&M, I mean, they don't have any defense, and right now their offense isn't producing enough for them not to have a defense.
Who's going into Ole Miss next week?
Who does go into Ole Miss?
I think the team that wears orange.
I'll tell you.
The Vols.
Do you
No
really?
need to look it up. Tennessee.
And y'all have to go to Ole Miss?
We got to go to Ole Miss, and I say we go Vol Nation. And I tell you what, I'm not calling an upset or anything like that.
Yes, you
But this
are.
Tennessee team is tough. They played everybody. They played. They had Georgia on the ropes. They played Oklahoma very tough when in the beginning of the year when they hadn't lost. I hope Tennessee goes down there and gives them a game. But man, the Mississippi schools, wow.
Let's see what the line. Tennessee is getting 16.5 right now at Ole Miss.
Vegas is good. I'll tell you what, it'll probably be.
You think they'll cover the 16.5?
No, because I think I think what's the first half line? I think they got that line, but I think the
Right,
second
10.
half, these teams, these two Mississippi teams are wearing people down and throttling them late. I know Auburn came back a little bit against Mississippi State, but Mississippi State dominated that game. It was 21-0 in the first quarter.
Ole Miss held Texas A&M scoreless in the first half.
That's crazy.
Those teams, the Mississippi teams, playing real good defense too. Speaking of teams that did not play good defense, but was a heck of a game to watch if you were watching, it was TCU Baylor. I mean, 61-58. I mean, the over definitely.
Bryce
hit on
Petty,
that one.
man.
Bryce Petty's up there too in Heisman talk.
I tell you, that Baylor, that's a point factory down there, isn't it?
It's ridiculous. And one thing they didn't was put any emphasis on defense because TCU just did just as much. I mean, it was a close game. I think they were up 17 points or something with 4 minutes to go or whatever it was, and I'm sure they had to be thinking they had it in the bag. But
Oh, God, Baylor scored 24 points in the fourth.
Yeah, it's.
I think most of it was in like the last 5 minutes too.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's a game TCU wins. They could. Everybody now, it's like you get that big win. There's 4 spots. You get that big win. The team that stays undefeated the longest has got to like their chances of getting into that 14 playoff.
Absolutely.
And that's a big loss for TCU because they win that game. That's a legit game against Baylor. Now Baylor continues to stay undefeated and moves into that top 5, top 4, top 3 with everybody kind of falling out. So you got the 2 Mississippi teams undefeated. You got Florida State undefeated. You got Baylor undefeated. So
Yeah,
I mean those would be the 4 teams that would have to go right now.
Yeah, and you got teams like you got one loss. Oklahoma, Oregon.
Oregon, I love the Ducks.
Yeah, Michigan State. Well, the Ducks, they always want to let you down.
Shout out to Team Nike.
What's his name? What's the guy? Phil Knight.
Phil Knight. Knight. There was a thing on the internet the other day with this Tiger, and he said hanging out with my boy PK. Tiger and Phil Knight. I'd love to be the third mug in that group too. You kidding me?
There's a little bit of money in that group.
Can we just go into the back room and I can just go, give me 10 minutes. Give me 10 minutes in the Nike stock room in Oregon and I just go ham.
You're ridiculous. Who's richer, Tiger Woods and Phil Knight, or me and Steven?
I don't know. Richer in wealth as in friendship and fellowship. And,
You don't know my bank book.
Yeah,
Yes, I
that's
do.
true.
Yeah, you do.
I think probably Tiger and PK got you guys just
By
by
a
a
little bit.
zero.
But if we're going by friendships and, overall morale, then I would say we're richer.
Overall morale.
Yeah.
this is getting kind of sappy in here now.
Yeah, it is. I almost cried. Speaking of one-loss teams, the Georgia-Missouri game was supposed to be billed up as a good football game. Georgia just completely dominated them.
Nick Chubb, they didn't miss a beat without Gurley, did they? Nick Chubb went in there and just ran all over them.
Yeah, they did. They played well. That's a team that I had in my Final Four when we did preseason predictions. I still like them to jump up in there. I don't think they're going to lose another ball game, whether it's Nick Chubb or Todd Gurley back there.
I want to hear more about this Connecticut and Tulane game. That was 3-12.
Well, that was a very good defensive struggle.
I mean, that's like a Pee Wee football score right there.
Yeah.
Those kids fought hard, man. It's not nice.
sure
to
they
Talk
did.
about
score.
Sacred Heart and Marist. But yeah, so looking forward, let's look at the slate coming up this week. I think there's actually a few good games. Let's check out the early games. Well,
the big game,
8
Florida
o'clock,
State.
Florida
yeah.
State, Notre Dame. Notre Dame catching 13.5 on the road. Notre Dame as double-digit underdogs are 6-2 against the spread. In case anybody is interested.
I haven't heard any updates on Winston at all with this whole autograph issue that's going on. Is that going to affect him playing in this game or no?
No,
They won't do anything until they prove something, right?
And I tell you, I feel bad because I wanted to believe him early on, and now he's got a student council advisory board meeting coming up in a couple weeks, and I just feel like Jimbo Fisher continuously backs him up and vouches for him. And I tell you what, this thing gets ugly, and it could end up costing Jimbo Fisher his job, no matter the fact that he still hasn't lost a game in the last 2 years.
Yeah,
won a
his
national
press
title.
conference, and all he was saying, we believe in him, we trust him, we believe in him. And I'm just thinking, why would you do any of those things?
He's done nothing but the contrary. He's immature. He doesn't get it, and I really wanted to defend him, like with the whole rape allegations and everything else. And it's just, every time you turn around, there's a new story out about Jameis Winston. And they were talking today about, will this start to affect his draft stock in the NFL? Because he was a lock for being the top overall pick. And do you want those kind of problems now?
I wouldn't take a chance on him.
No, I mean, I can't. Now I'm not a scout. So.
But you're not winning without a star quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, but I mean, in the long run, what if? I mean, like, it's just too big of a risk. It's like
You give a
taking
guy
all you
like
have
that
and
$20 million,
See,
$10 million.
that's
Oh
when
my
that's when
God.
you're the GM and you're praying you're like number 2 or 3 overall, not
You just-
number 1 overall.
You made a fantastic point right there. He's already a terror with barely anything. With $20 million in his pocket, what could he possibly do?
It's a nightmare.
That's awful. Good Lord.
You could buy some crab legs
So wait,
for $20
real quick
million.
though,
Yeah, he
Todd
might
Gurley, because I haven't been keeping up with any of it. Did they just already have enough evidence on him, or they just suspended him? Or
Supposedly. I mean, I haven't looked a whole lot into it either, but I know he's practicing with the team, but his suspension is still there. I think there is a chance he'll come back this season.
Yeah, it's an investigation right now. Basically, they're checking it out, and until further notice, he's suspended.
so why wouldn't they do the same for Winston?
I don't
Because
think there's enough information on him.
the Winston thing is new. It just came in. Now, Winston stuff was through the same guy or on the same website as Gurley stuff.
Yeah, the same company, yeah.
So, yeah, it's, I don't know.
I'm just confused. Like, to me, like, you guys are way more knowledgeable about college football than I
You're
am.
darn
but
right we are.
It seems like there is a lot of just BS that's happening and a lot of covering up. And
Florida State's got more money than Georgia, so that's fine.
yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, that's true. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. Like, take us off the track there.
I mean, that's definitely a big topic to discuss. Unfortunately, Texas A&M has to go to Alabama. I mean, they've had Mississippi State, Mississippi. Now they get to go to Alabama. Lucky
Easy
A&M.
schedule, yeah.
So that gets 3:30 game. That should be a decent game. I tell you one to watch out for. You got a 5-1 Washington team going to Oregon. Now I think this Washington team is unranked. They are unranked, but they go into Oregon. Let's look at their schedule. Who's beat them? Their only loss is to Stanford, and it was only a 20-13 loss. They beat up. They haven't really played anybody. They beat Cal. They held Cal to 7 points, and Cal has. Jared Goff's been throwing 1 million touchdowns a game. I tell you what. Let's look at that spread. I tell you what. I like.
Now, they've got Peterson up there, don't they now?
Yeah, I think so. I like. Let me see what time is that ball game?
That's an 8 p.m. game.
All right, let me
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time. Let's look and see.
I thought that meant extraterrestrial time.
Extraterrestrial.
I really like. There's nothing like flipping channels at the end of that night and stumbling upon a UCLA game, or like this game right here, Stanford and Arizona State, 2 ranked teams. Starts at 10:30, on the East.
Yeah.
You fall asleep to that game, wake up in the fourth quarter, catch a game-winning drive.
That's when Chad's starting to watch a lot of the games at midnight.
I'm getting that. What's going on? Washington's catching 21 at Eugene. I like Washington in that game. Give me the 21 points. As a matter of fact, I'd take them on money line plus 844.
Wow.
I like that a lot.
Wow, Mariota, Heisman hopeful, top draft pick.
Not sold. It's a good game. Arkansas is not a bad football team, even though they're 3-3. 5-1 Georgia goes to Arkansas. You got a 4-1 Kansas State team going to Oklahoma. That should be a good ball game. You got Oklahoma State TCU. That's a battle of 2 one-loss teams.
You know what we need to start doing just for the future? We need to start putting like the highlight games of the week that you yourself would watch out of all the ones that you have to choose, and then we should put that on the website, and people should be able to go to see that and say, "Hey, all right, well, I'm going to check out this game and that game." Just a thought, and now it's recorded.
I like it. I think it's a great idea.
I think it's a fantastic idea.
You're a really smart guy, Rodney.
I try. So, look, and while we're on that subject, what is the number one game that you cannot miss this weekend?
The number one game?
Yeah, out of all the
Florida State, Notre Dame.
Yeah, 2 undefeated teams.
Yeah, ridiculous.
There you go. There you go. So if you're doing anything, you better be doing that.
West Virginia might beat Baylor too. And
that's the game I have pulled up right now. Baylor 8.5-point favorites.
Yep.
That's in Morgantown, West Virginia. That could be
Clint
a really
Stern.
high
What's
scoring
his name?
game too.
They're West Virginia's quarterback Clint Stern. What the heck is his name?
Trickett.
Clint Trickett. That's it.
Old tricky Clint Trickett.
Then he came from USC, didn't he?
I think I like.
I think you might be right on that. I don't have the. I'm not sure about that. That's an impressive pull there, Chadwick.
I think he was a USC reject in the game.
A reject. I'll tell you what. Some of those rejects could have been starters at 90% of the other schools around the
Let me see
country.
if I can get any kind of nugget on him. He's got 12 touchdown passes, which I think Jared Goff for California had that in 2 weeks. His hometown is Tallahassee, Florida.
Oh, that's right. Didn't they open up with USC? Or no, they opened up with Alabama because he is dating Saban's daughter, isn't he?
Yeah, they lost 33-23.
Yeah, and I think he's dating Nick Saban's daughter.
No.
So yeah, I believe that was the story behind that.
They lost to Alabama and lost to Oklahoma. I mean, they beat Texas Tech, Kansas, Maryland, and I mean they squeaked by Towson 54-0. But yeah, I like that game. I definitely give me the 8.5. I'll take that one too. But yeah, that's all I got really as far as those are your games to watch. I mean, it's really
So school's out?
Don't want to get in. Yeah, school's out.
School
man.
is
Out of
out.
session. Rodney Dangerfield is gone.
Recess. I guess no, school's out. End of the day. Go home.
no
Get a
recess.
snack.
Yeah, that's it.
What was Rodney Dangerfield's character's name?
I don't know. I think you pulled that last time
I think it was like Thurgood something. I can't remember. Well, we got some time left in this segment, and we haven't really touched on this at all. It was kind of a detrimental event that occurred last week. You know, with all this wonderful things we talked about the regular season and all of the hopeful optimism we had for the postseason, the Nationals lost in the division series.
It just came to an abrupt end. It was, I mean, all season long. Once they hit their stride, they started off to an average start. Then once they hit their stride, it was kind of like, all right, here we go. This is what the team is built to do. Mm-hmm. And you get in the playoffs, and all of a sudden it was just like, what happened?
There was no offense.
What happened, I don't blame the offense as much as I blame the manager. Matt Williams, rookie manager. I love what he did all year, kept the team level. They had a lot of injuries. He really kept them afloat. Then they found their stride. For me, it was... his pitching changes were horrible. He didn't. Soriano, who was great all year, I know he fell off a little bit at the end of last year, but he relied on guys like Aaron Barrett in a spot where Aaron Barrett was clearly not ready to be in that game. Mm-hmm. Soriano's been in those games with the Yankees. And
Tyler Clippard.
Clippard's been there.
Strasburg was in the dugout.
You had all these different options with your season on the line, and you put Aaron Barrett in there, and he never shook up. They had the two young kids, the two kids that'll be there forever, Rendon and Harper. Those are the only two guys that hit. He never shook the lineup up. He didn't take LaRoche. LaRoche and Worth had like 3 hits out of like 30 out of 30
like
something.
.59.
How do you not get Zimmerman in the lineup? I'm sorry. I get really upset about this because that team was good enough to win a World Series, and Matt Williams' decision making really cost them, and it's very disappointing.
Well, he pulled Zimmerman with 2 outs in the ninth with 1 runner on.
That's another pitching
2
example.
outs
Like I said, and then you got Ryan Zimmerman, the guy who's been there, the guy who's waited his whole career to get to this point. And I understand they were winning with LaRoche and everybody else, but you got to sit LaRoche down, put him on first base, get that right-handed stick in the lineup. It was
You're saying
very
shake it up for the postseason. They didn't do that.
I remember, and I follow the Yankees, and I'm a Yankee fan. One year, Joe Torre batted A-Rod 8th, for God's sake.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been done. And that, you know what they did after that? They went and finished on winning that series. So it's been done before. I understand not wanting to shake up the things that got you there, but you know, you got to do something. You cannot, how is Harper still hitting 6th in the lineup? He was clearly the best hitter. Move him up to 3rd. He and Rendon. The problem was they couldn't string hits together. And the only guys that were doing it, one's hitting 2nd, one's hitting 6th.
Yeah.
They have 4 guys in between them. Desmond couldn't hit the broadside of a barn for the first 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It's just disappointing. Another year. And, we'll see what they do, hopefully, again, in the postseason next fall.
Yeah, and I think they have every chance to get back there. But you're absolutely right. And what I was saying about no offense, too, I guess that's what I was saying, is like you couldn't get anyone that would hit a stride with hitting. No one was really – I mean, Harper had a couple big home runs, but really they didn't do anything because we weren't close enough to take it at that
So
point.
all that boils down is baseball's over for me. I'll pull a little bit for the Orioles now.
Yeah,
but
do you
for the
even
most
watch
part,
anymore?
No, I'll tell you, you guys should watch. The Royals are very exciting. They're finding their stride at the right time in the season. They steal bases. They play some of the best outfield I've ever seen. And I tell you what, they're as hot as anybody in baseball and have a great chance here to move on and win the World Series first time in 30 years.
Well, there's a lot of people in this area who are not happy with what you just said because they're all Orioles fans.
Oh, they're Orioles fans now. Where have they been for the last 20 years? Don't even get me started on this tangent right here. I go on for an hour on this. All these people rocking the orange now and, screaming, oh, and they were no for the last 17 years.
Well,
That's
soon it
disgusting.
might be no this season as well. Did you like that? It was a little pun.
Good pun.
That was
Good
solid.
pun.
you like that?
Yeah. 3 stars.
I'm working to get 4 or 5 stars here. All right. Well, we have come to the end of our second segment. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to head into our third segment, go over the upcoming NFL games, go into a little segment we call Beat the Bookie. So stick with us.
That's right.
And we are back for our final segment of episode 12. That would be segment 3. And we were talking about the Nationals disappointing into their season, their postseason, in the last segment. But this segment is where we go into Beat the Bookie. I don't like the way I said that. Let me try again. Beat the Bookie. I don't like that either.
No.
I'll try it another time. But this is Beat the Bookie. And this is where we go in this week's games against the spread and tell you what our picks are.
Clock.
So, and yes, we do need to make sure we're staying on task and time. So I think I've probably been speaking for about 2 minutes now.
Probably 43 seconds.
43 seconds? I have no concept of time whatsoever. Let's get right into it. Thursday night's game, we have the New York Jets heading into the Patriots.
Yeah, Jets at the Patriots. Patriots are laying 9.5 at home. Both teams on a short week. The Patriots look real good. They beat up on the Bills last week. The Jets got kind of hosed by a backdoor cover by a pick 6 from the Broncos. Supposed to be a lot of heavy rain, a lot of wind. The Jets were close to a cover last week. The 9.5. I'm gonna take the road dog. I'm gonna take the Jets. Rex Ryan he's gonna come in there. There's one game he wants to play tough. It's gonna be against the Patriots. Give me the Jets. I want the 9.5.
Okay.
Good. Yeah. I mean, solid. You can't disagree with you there, but I'm going to.
That's because Tom Brady's your boy.
Yeah, Tom Brady is my boy. I love Tom Brady. He's my favorite non-Redskin. Guy's a stud. I feel like it'll be a close game most of the way through. These teams always play each other tough, but at home, second half, I feel like they'll run it out and escape with a tight one. Something like 27-17. Just get past that 9.5 point mark.
All right, so you got the Pats. Steven?
Man, I want to believe the Jets will never win a game ever
They don't
again.
have to win to cover.
I know, but I mean, I just feel like they're going to get decimated. But again, like you just said, when it comes to Jets and Patriots, it's kind of hard to say because there's a lot more behind that than your average football game. I'm going to say the Jets keep it close, and I'm going to say that, I'd go with the Jets in this one if we're going with the spread.
All right.
All right. Then Falcons are heading into Baltimore to take on the Ravens. I'd imagine in nature this would be a great battle as well between a Falcon and a Raven. But so, what do you think about this particular
You
football
love those
game?
matchups. he loves the mascot matchup.
The Bears and the Lions really
The
going.
mascot matchup.
Definitely love. Hey, that's another great segment.
Mascot matchup.
We're definitely
man.
putting that in there.
Well, in this case, the Ravens are giving up 7 points to the Falcons. I mean, with this game right here, it's at Baltimore. I mean, Baltimore's coming off a big high. Falcons coming off a big low. I think the Falcons are going to bounce back. I think the Ravens are going to come back down to earth a little bit. I mean, I think the Ravens are definitely the better football team. I like the Ravens winning this ball game 21-20. Give me the road dog. Give me the Falcons plus the 7.
I got to concur with you there. I don't think Matty Ice can stay down this long. You got to figure that offense is eventually going to break through. As good as Baltimore looked last week, they were doing it against Tampa Bay. Hopefully Atlanta plays with a little bit of pride. I thought they'd be a little better than this after watching Hard Knocks. So I'll take them to cover that 7 points.
They make everything seem so magical on television, don't they?
It's just incredible. I thought they were going to win the Super Bowl.
I would have put all my money down on it. I'm going to say that the Ravens will win the game overall, but I think I agree with you. It's going to be pretty close. And what was it, a 7-point spread?
Yeah.
And the Ravens were favored by the 7 points, right? Yeah, I'm going to go with the Falcons in this situation as far as the spread is concerned.
All right, we're all jumping on the Falcons.
Now we've got Tennessee Titans coming to play the Redskins, which this has literally become a matchup of some two very bad teams.
Yeah, it's the Washington's kind of it's a little disappointing season, new scheme and everything.
I know it kills you to say that, Chad.
Yeah, I know very much.
You were selling the depressive tone, but
What's going to kill me to say is when I make my pick for this game. But Titans are a bad football team. What I think they need to do is start Zach Mettenberger, give Bishop Sankey all the carries. You've got to start from scratch. This team's they're going nowhere fast. Washington's going to rebound playing at home. This team's got too much pride to come home and lay an egg. They got too many weapons. The defense is a little suspect, but I think Washington playing at home, I think they're going to put a good whooping on the Titans, and I think they're going to cover that 5. Give me the home team laying the 5.
Pride is an interesting word, isn't it, Chad?
Very.
I do think they will come out. Gruden has come out this week and said they're embarrassing the city. I've been embarrassed, so it's nothing this particular team has done. But, I'm loving my boys. I actually feel like they're going to show up this week. This will be the first home game I have not attended this year, and, they will probably win without me there. We're not going to include the Jacksonville game. That was outrageous. But
yeah.
I feel like Kirk Cousins only has a few starts left in him, tops. I feel like he'll want to impress. I feel like he'll want to bounce back. I think this could be a high-scoring game because I don't like really either defense. But I'll take the Redskins covering the 5.5.
Shocker.
I'm also going to take the Redskins, and you don't have to know why.
And that's it.
That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Those are your best explanations. You don't have to know why.
I think
The Redskins won't know why either. Trust me.
What did I go last week? 9-5-1. Is
Oh
that what it
yeah,
was?
you went 9-5-1. I went 8-6-1. So we were betting every game when you're above 500.
I
Straight
still
cash,
win.
homie.
In my mind,
Straight
I still beat you. In my mind, I still beat you.
You did.
All right. Oh, another great animal matchup. Seahawks heading in to St. Louis to take on the Rams. I give my favor in an animal matchup to the Seahawks because I think they can swoop in and get a little pecking on the brain of the Rams.
Ram not quite as agile.
I mean, they're agile, but they don't, they're not as light a foot as a Seahawk could be.
A lighter foot. Seahawks coming bouncing back off a loss to the Cowboys. They're going to the Rams, who are not a great football team. I mean, there's really nothing that I can find that makes me want to pick the Rams to make me think this game is close. The Seahawks are going to be just as prepared as ever for this game, even though it's not a big game. You don't want to fall behind with the division being as good as it is. They're going to come out and win this game handily. Give me the road chalk. I'll take the Seahawks plus 6.5.
Chad, you are not just good looking, but you are also smart. I like
you.
these 6.5 points here. I do want to give a shout out to Austin Davis. I like this kid, the quarterback that's filled in for St. Louis. He's tough. Gruden said he reminded him of young Drew Brees, probably only because he wears number 9. But They're competitive. Their defense has 1 sack this year, coming off a year where I think a year or two ago, they led the league in sacks.
And Robert Quinn, I think, had like 13.
Quinn had like 13. The fact they only have 1 at this point in the season is just ridiculous. It's hard enough to get to Russell Wilson. I do. I'll take the road team. I like Seattle going in there, bouncing back after being upset at home. So, yeah.
I like it.
Like my pick in nature, I'm going with the Seahawks.
All right, we're all jumping on the Seahawks.
All right, and now we got a team that's been pretty hot, and they're getting ready to play one of the worst teams in the NFL. We have the Cleveland Browns heading down to sunny Jacksonville, going to hang out in their awesome tubs and their cabanas.
Yeah, back-to-back game where we got the road chalk. You got the Browns coming in on the road as a favorite. They're laying 5.5 at the Jaguars. Jaguars won on the road, kept it close at Tennessee, who's bad. Got the cover. I think we were on them last week. The Browns are going to come in. They're going to win this ball game. I think it's going to be another close one. I think this is going to actually be. I don't think you're going to see a ton of offense, just enough. I think you're going to have like the 19-16 type game. I think the Browns win, but I think the Jaguars are slowly scratching their way to being respective. I know they've taken a few beatings. So I'm going to take the Jaguars plus the 5.5. Give me the home dog.
Home dogs. Wolf, wolf. I am on board with the home dogs. You were talking about Blake Bortles stepping up in this game, being a sleeper potentially. I'm with you there. I like Cleveland. I think Cleveland will continue. I think they'll win this game. But, yeah, 2017, something like that. This won't be a super entertaining game to watch. But, yeah, give me the home dog here in Jacksonville.
I like it.
I'm going with a different type of dog. It's called the dog pound. And so I'm going to go with the Browns on this one. I think they found a great stride. They've got Jordan Cameron back. I'm hoping they'll get Andrew Hawkins more involved again because he was a great asset while Cameron was gone. So, yeah, my money is on the Browns. I'm going to say they win this by like 10 or more points.
Really? You like them big, huh?
Mm-hmm. Blowout at home. You think they're focused on the girls up in the cabana then, maybe?
You know what? I think Brian Hoyer is just focused on being a badass quarterback because, I mean, he's actually pretty...
He's working
He's doing pretty well. And
he's got a great head of hair, too.
Well, if you look what's around, like, again, Jordan Cameron, Andrew Hawkins was a really big influence in this season while he was gone. He's got some solid running backs. I mean... You know, there's some potential there.
Rodney, are you like on the verge of becoming a closet Browns fan? I mean, you're really on board here.
It's possible, man. Like
I have a brown shirt on.
Ride the wave, man.
I mean, I feel like I'm wearing Steelers colors right now, but yeah, sure, why not? All right, yeah. So that was you got Jaguars, and I went with the Browns on that one. I think it's one of the only ones we've actually separated our picks on thus far.
Besides the
first one,
Jets,
the New England
Patriots.
Jets. Yeah.
True that. All right, let's see. Another great animal matchup. Bengals heading into Indianapolis to face the Colts. Now, really in nature, we know who this favor would go to, but in the game, who's your pick?
Well, in the game, you've got the...
I've converted you.
They're going to play this one out?
Yeah, you got the Bengals that call me. What a good game.
Yes, I'm excited about this. One of the better ones of the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you got the Colts are giving up 3, laying a field goal. The Bengals play a lot. I mean, they played essentially what they did. They played 5 quarters. So they're going to be a little. I think they're going to be a little, I guess, lackadaisical going into the Colts. They're missing AJ Green. Even though Bernard and Hill are running the ball well, Andy Dalton's playing good at the quarterback position. I just think the Colts got a little too many weapons right now. I think the Colts win by 10, actually. I think it's like a 27-17 game. Give me the Colts laying the 3 at home.
I like Cincinnati in this game. I just feel like the Colts are there. One week they really impressed, and the next they look okay. Luck is the future of the NFL. He's great. But I just back-to-back weeks, sometimes I don't like his consistency all that much. I feel like he throws a few too many interceptions. I love the secondary for Cincinnati. I like Cincinnati and Marvin Lewis going in there and 21-20, something like that. I'm gonna actually, I think they go in there and outright beat Indy. So I'll definitely take the 3 points and ride with the Stripes.
27-21 Indianapolis Colts.
You got the Colts.
Boom.
Kapoosh.
Mind's blown.
That's all your minds exploding all over the table. Sorry, I got you fired. Almost knocked my beer over.
Hey, man, it's
all right,
alcohol
so
abuse.
The Vikings are heading to Buffalo to face the Bills. And
Does
go.
anybody even care? Do we even want to pick
I'm
this
trying,
game?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if there's going to be a point scored in this game.
It's going to be a tie, 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you got to. I mean, by default, I'm not even going to give any explanation for this game. The Bills are playing at home. Their defense is going to be a little bit better than the Vikings. They're going to disrupt Teddy Bridgewater. I said I wasn't going to give an explanation. I can't stop talking. Give me the Bills. Give me the home favorite. Give me the home chalk. Give me the Bills -4.5.
Let's see. Did I even write this game down to pick? Oh, yes, I did. I'm going to go with Buffalo, the home favorite here. I think they're going to pick up a win at home. I like to play at home, new ownership. Really, I think the play here is probably under 42.5 is probably the better pick here. But two good defenses, two bad offenses, and what should be the worst game of the weekend.
And they've got it hidden in there in the 1 o'clock games. Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Bills as well. And remind me who's playing quarterback for them?
Kyle Orton.
Kyle Orton.
Great
Not
mustache.
E.J. Manuel, right? E.J. Manuel is not playing anymore, right? Okay. Just wanted to clarify that.
Correct.
All right, so yeah, I'm definitely going with the Bills in this one. And no more explanation needed than that. Whoa. Yes. Okay, so the Dolphins. Oh, the Dolphins are heading into Chicago. In real life, in the environment of a dolphin, I always give it to a dolphin because a bear, they're just screwed in the water
Here,
with a dolphin.
snowflake.
But now we're going into the woods. We're heading into the woods. So what's going to happen to the dolphin?
Mascot matchup. Dolphins are going to come in out of their element, out of the water, and they're going to win this game outright.
Woo! Oh my gosh, 16
Dolphins-
in the middle of Miami.
Give me IGGY. Give me the Dolphins +3 on the road. The Bears are up and down. This is a game where they're going to be down. The Dolphins are playing good football. Even though Moreno's out, Lamar Miller is running the ball good. Tannehill's playing good quarterback. I think they got a little better defense. Give me the Dolphins.
Miami plays in like 72 degrees and sunshine.
I
don't know what the weather is going to be up there in Chicago, but I can't imagine it's going to be that nice. I'm a closet fan of Smoke and Jay Cutler. I love their wide receivers. I love their running back. I'm not sold on Trushman. The defense played the best game they played underneath him last week. I like the Bears to punish the Miami Dolphins. I will take the Bears big in this one.
Wow.
You know what? I was going to go with you, Chad, but he sold me on the Bears. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Bears on this one as well because I was just
Bandwagon.
thinking. I was just racking my brain. I was just doing the matchup comparisons.
The porpoise versus the mammal.
Yeah,
Are they both mammals? I don't know. It's not a science class, I hope.
Middle of the woods. Middle of the woods. All right, we've got the Saints heading up to Detroit to face the Lions. And, so the Saints don't have a great record on the road.
No, they don't. And the Lions are... I couldn't help but laugh, and she's over there with me.
Yeah.
The Saints are a 3-point dog. Lions have a really good defense. I think the public's going to be on the Lions big, only laying 3 points to the Saints. I'm going to go against that. Give me the Saints +3.
I like where your head's at. I'm also going to take New Orleans. I just feel like they can't be down this long. You had mentioned earlier that they were a Super Bowl pick for you.
Coming off a bye week.
Yeah, coming off the bye week. And you're right. The public is already starting to shift this from 2.5 to 3. It'll probably keep going from there. And remember, they don't have Megatron either. So I'm again with the Saints. They play. It's an indoor matchup again. Saints are comfortable indoors.
Correct.
So yeah, give me the Saints.
I'm rolling with the Saints as well. All right, the Panthers are heading up to Green Bay to take on the Packers.
Panthers getting a touchdown. They played a long game. I think they're going to be a little bit tired as well. The Packers are hitting their stride. For that reason, I think there's going to be a lot of action on Green Bay. Give me the Panthers plus a touchdown on the road.
Again, Chad, I think we did our picks together, even though we're sitting at opposite ends of the table here.
You must be a smart man.
Green Bay is going to win this game, but Carolina, Newton's playing better. He looks more healthy. He's moving around better.
Conway's boy, Kelvin Benjamin.
Yeah, Kelvin Benjamin's been a solid pick. I did not think he'd be this good. I mean, he caught the biggest pass of the year in the
only reason I did
the
is
national
that's all
championship
Conway
game.
talked
Yeah.
about in the first 2 or 3 shows. All
normally
I had to
it
hear was
is.
Kelvin Benjamin.
Yeah, but anyway, to mop it up, I like Carolina's defense to
Mop
keep
it
this
up.
one close.
You know what? I'm going to go with Carolina too. With the spread that you just gave me. I mean, I think the Packers pulled this out, but last week's final drive to win, it makes me think the Packers aren't extremely the dominating force that they were. But so I'm going to go with the Panthers on this one. But I think the Packers overall win. Chiefs face the Chargers in San Diego.
All right, we're going to go quick round. We're running a little bit short on time. The Chiefs are on the road getting 4 points. I mean, the Chargers are on a roll. Chiefs coming off a bye week. I think giving the Chiefs 2 weeks to game plan for a divisional opponent, I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Chiefs win this game outright. Give me the Chiefs +4.
I like you. Andy Reid coming off the bye week, best record in NFL history as a head coach. I think they're ready to go. San Diego struggled a little bit with Oakland last week. Give me the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs getting 4 points.
Heading along with the Chiefs as well. Cardinals are facing against a newborn Raiders team.
I don't need an explanation. I guess I'm a Cardinals fan. I've taken them all year long. Give me the Cardinals laying 3 on the road. I like the road chalk.
I don't think Oakland will ever be reborn. They're still the Raiders. They still play in Oakland, Alameda. And Arizona goes in there. Carson Palmer looked solid last week. Got some run against the Redskins. Arizona by double digits.
Raiders. All right, we've got the Giants facing off against the Cowboys in Dallas. I'm sure half the stadium, or maybe 3/4 of it, will be Giants fans. But nonetheless, they're in Dallas.
It's a close game much throughout the game. I think Eli always plays well at Dallas. It's a divisional game. They know each other well. Dallas pulls away late, wins by 13. Give me the Cowboys.
Wow, real shocker there. Chad's really riding them hard. You made all my points for me. I'm taking the Giants, but it's because they always play them tight. I'll tell you what, if this was a playoff game or a game to get in the playoffs, I'd take the Giants outright, but I'll just take the 6 points on this one.
6 points. Okay, I was going to say, man, the Cowboys have just been playing so well. It actually makes my stomach hurt to even make this pick. I'm going to say the Cowboys in this one. They've been playing so damn well. And, I mean, consistency has not been the name of the game for the Giants. I mean, they have their ups, but they've had their downs. And right now, the way DeMarco's running, and I just feel like, is Rashad Jennings even going to be available for the Giants? Or is it? Yeah, so.
They're depleted, but they play with heart.
They do, yeah. And if you've ever seen a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, you know that's all you need. Lionheart.
They're doing this one for Cruz, man.
All right. 49ers facing off against the Broncos. 49ers coming off a big win last night. Looked kind of like it was going to go the other way for them early on, but they pulled it off.
Yeah, and being the line 6.5, I think it's going to be some action on the 49ers side, getting almost a touchdown. I think the Broncos, again, I think it's a pretty evenly matched ball game. Broncos being at home, I think they cover the 6.5. Give me the Broncos.
San Francisco found something with that play over top Monday night. I will look back on that play as this season goes on. Lots of talk of turmoil with Harbaugh and everything else. That play galvanized them. They played a great second half. A friend of mine from high school, Ahmad Brooks, is a stud on that outside linebacking core for San Francisco.
Name drop. Yeah, I was gonna say,
name drop. What's up, Ahmad?
Name drop.
Give me San Francisco collecting the points. I like Denver at home. That's a tight game. I wouldn't even be surprised if Frisco pulled that out.
Ahmad, he was saying that 49ers were getting killed off tape, so off air.
Well, now he's not going to listen anymore. Great. I'm going with the Broncos in this one. That's all I have to say. All right, Monday night's game. We have Texans coming over to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers.
Doo-doo versus doo-doo. Give me the road dog. I'll take Houston plus 3.5.
I've got it at 3, Chad. I don't know what current book you're using. I'm going to take Pittsburgh at home. They were embarrassed. I love Mike Tomlin as a head coach. I'd run through a wall for that guy. I feel like he rallies the troops. They get Antonio Brown involved a little more, and they hammer Houston.
You may have to run through Mike Tomlin. He likes to put himself in front of people constantly on the field. But other than that, oh man, see. The offense for the Texans, what do you call him, Dink and Dunk Fitzpatrick?
Dink and Dunk
It just makes me feel so weary. I'm going to go with the Steelers on this one. I'm going with the Steelers on this one, so that's my pick.
There we go.
And that's it. That's it for the picks. That's all.
And we'll be taking this out of the third segment, and starting the next couple of weeks, we will be doing its own little podcast, Beat the Bookie. We're going to pick not every game, but we're going to even be mixing maybe a couple college games if we like them. We're going to give you 5 to 6 games over the week. and give you our picks. We don't have as much time to get into giving you the against the spread numbers and and any kind of trends. So we're going to be doing a little bit more of that in that podcast. So we're doing a little bit behind the scenes kind of that. But to go into any kind of that deep explanation and just into this, we don't have enough time. But in that, we'll be giving you a little bit more of that nerdy bet talk.
When's our bye week? Do we have a bye week?
No.
We don't get a bye week. We have to
Winners
the full
never
17
quit,
weeks
gentlemen.
If you keep acting up, you're going to have a long bye week.
Well, listen, that's all the time we have here. We want to thank you for watching and listening. And Paige, thank you for running the equipment today. Really appreciate that.
No problem.
Done a great job. Thank you for waving me when it was time to
Vanna White
stop.
over here.
And definitely please check out our website, www.threefrostedmugs.com. There you can find our Fantasy Focus episodes, our Three Frosted Mugs episodes, and eventually our Beat the Bookies episodes. And as well, you can enter your Pick 3 Plus for weekly prizes and a chance for the grand prize at the end of the season, which is a Samsung tablet. And we want to thank Brian for coming in and sitting in for us today.
Gentlemen, I can't thank you guys enough. I had an absolute blast in here, and whenever you need that third mug, man, I'm ready to rock.
Yeah, man. I think Conway's coming back next week. But in the upcoming weeks, we may have you just sit in, just be just to come in. We'll have 4 of us.
Yeah, just come in and do a segment with you guys. Like I said, it's a lot of fun. You guys are easy to talk to, and this has been a real treat for me.
Well, you did
Yeah,
a
we
great
appreciate
job,
it,
and you
man.
better not go make any sort of competitive shows either. I swear to God.
I don't have this kind of stuff. This is too high tech for me. I just do it into my iPhone.
And definitely want to thank AJ Studios. They do a lot of hard work for us doing post-production and graphics. And definitely until next time, I just want to say, we cheers, by the way. May all
Yeah,
your
cheers.
parlay dreams come true.